Alright, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I made a video, so I think weather's just been horrible all spring. Cold, windy, and rain. Today we're supposed to get up to 72, I think, so. Alright, looks like the neighbor, he's out on his side-by-side. See him going through the woods there. So ever since I bought this thing, it always had a low RPM miss on it. I tried dumping fuel cleaners in it, fuel injector cleaners, and it would run better for a while, and then it would just start acting up again. So yesterday I got to looking at it. I was going to grab another can of fuel injector cleaner, and while I was reaching for it, I realized I seen that can of throttle body cleaner, and it dawned on me, well, heck, why don't I take this one off and take that apart and clean that? And so I did that yesterday, and this thing runs 100% better. So I'll go through that with you today and show you how to take that off and clean it out and put it back together. It took about 10 minutes. It was pretty simple and pretty quick. So one thing we got to do is take that clamp off and take that clamp off. And then we'll take this clamp off to get this hose out of the way. And then we'll unhook the throttle body cable wiring. And we'll get it on the bench, and I'll show you what I did. So I'll get that off. See if I'm all set up here for this. We'll just take these off. Take this one off. Take this one off. But anyway, I'll get all this stuff unhooked, and then I'll get it on the bench, and we'll go from there. Okay, so yesterday when I did this, I took that off, and all you got to do is just take your finger and go in there and wipe it. And mine came out really black. So, and then to unhook your throttle body wiring, you just push down on this tab here. And then you just kind of have to wiggle it back and forth, and then it comes off. So that's it. It's off. We'll take it over to the bench, and I'll show you what I did. Alright, so once this is off, you can take it outside and take your carb cleaner or throttle body cleaner, and you can spray it all over in here and wipe it out, or just spray a bunch on the rag here and get in there and wipe it out. For the hard spots inside there, I just took a Q-tip and saturated that with some cleaner and went inside there, and you can get into the tight spots here around the throttle body itself, the butterfly, get all that cleaned out. And then same thing on this side here. You can spray some in there or put some on a rag and wipe it off. And I know it's kind of hard to see in there, but there was certainly a film on there, but I got the film off, and it's a lot more shinier in there than it was. I mean, you can stick your finger in there to open it up. There's certainly some pressure on there. But you can stick your finger down there and open it up, and then get your rag in there and wipe it off even better. So surprisingly, you know, just by looking at this, there was some buildup on there, and maybe that was just enough to cause the rough idling at low RPM, like 3 or 4 miles an hour, 2, 3, or 4. It would just constantly backfire all the time. So once I had that done, I went back over here, and let me grab a light here so we can see. you look inside there, you'll see the fuel injector right there. And so I just got to be careful how much you spray in there. You got to get it right on the first couple of shots. Otherwise, all that raw carburetor cleaner or whatever is going to end up down by your cylinders. So, I mean, you can take that off and probably do it that way, just by these two bolts here. You can get in there and probably take that out and do it that way too, but I just left it in there. Tried to spray as much as I could without getting it too soaked in there. So once I got that cleaned out, it's just a matter of putting everything back together again. So like I said, it only took about 10 minutes. And this machine, when I bought it, it sat at the dealership for over a year. It was like the orphan nobody wanted for some reason. And this is only an HD5, but you know, for the 500 they don't make these anymore. But it's got all the power I need. I'm not out there racing from bar to bar or racing neighbors or nothing. I'm just out enjoying the woods. So, all right, we'll get that put back together. And another tip is, you know, if you're going to work underneath there, just go ahead and unhook your hydraulic bar. Get that out of the way so you can lift it up farther. You're not constantly bonking your head on that latch all the time. Like when I first got this thing, I was doing all the time. So just make it easy on yourself. We'll get this back in now. All right, now when you're putting this back on, it's kind of child-proof because I marked this with the white paint right there. But if you look on the left, there's a little notch out. And so that's exactly where it has to go back on then. Is that it has to fit over the notch right there. So we'll just push it back on. There it goes. And we'll get it lined up where it needs to be. So like I said, I drew this line here to make sure I had it all lined up, putting it back together, but it's already notched out on the rubber hose section there, and it's got a notch right there. So it just slides right back in together. And then our other hose, just got to slide that back on. But that goes back on there. And then I got to get my clamp to put back on here. So we'll get that all reassembled, get our clamps tied down. And then yesterday when I started it, you know, when you spray the injector right there, it's going to flood the engine off a little bit, so it's going to turn over a little bit harder and until it burns out the gas down in there. So that's it. That's all it takes to clean that out. Not even a 5-minute, 10-minute job. So if you would, hit the subscribe button or like. I know I don't like that when people do that on their videos, but certainly not trying to get rich off this. I enjoy making these. It's a little bit hard because all I'm using is my phone. I have to go in and edit it off the phone. I don't have computer or internet out to the house out here. So, all right, thanks for watching.